I'm kind of sad, but I'm excited. You know, I've been doing this 40 plus years, and what a great opportunity to be a chief in a great city. I hate to leave the city. I hate to leave the people. I hate to leave the department. But it's time to do something else, and I'm not sure what that is. Spend more time with my family and have a life other than the constant life of being a police chief, and it's constant. It's every hour of every day. You can't get it off your mind. So I look forward to relaxing a little bit.
Do you know how to relax?
That will probably be one of my problems. I'm a very intense, full of energy type of person. So learning to slow down and to relax will be my first test.
That kind of leads into my next question. Are you going to completely be done with law enforcement now? You're going to completely move on to a different portion of your life?
Probably not. You know, I've learned a lot, gained a lot of experiences in 40 plus years. If I can share that, maybe as a consultant or with other agencies or other law enforcement groups, I surely will be available to do that. I will not be taking on a full-time police job for a long period of time, but I won't say that if an agency is in need and needs somebody for a couple of months, I won't go back and do an interim to help them out. But I would think hard about that. I'd rather be in the consulting world, and you know, I've always wanted to write a book on the organizational dynamics and leadership. So if I have enough patience, I might do that.
And you've been here since 2004?
I came in August of 2004, so next month it'll be 9 years. And chiefs nationwide don't normally last 9 years. I'm the senior chief in Hampton Roads. And a number of chiefs have, well, changed seats.
What would you say in the nine years that you've been here, what would you say is your proudest moment as chief? Are you able to single out one thing?
No, not one thing. You know, I came into a department that was a good department, but it had a lot of room for growth. And we put a good strategic plan in place. We set our goals. We've achieved a lot of those goals. I'm very proud of us being one of 8 in the world with accreditation in 3 different areas. I'm very proud of us having our own excellent police academy that we did not have when I came here. I'm very proud of us reducing crime consistently in a very tough city to reduce crime. But I've enjoyed working with all the groups such as the Boys and Girls Club and the community, and I'm going to miss a lot of community people. I mean, I have 2 or 3 people, elderly people, that I call quite often just to check on them to see how they are.
Yeah. Is there anything during your time here that you say you regret, something you regret not being able to accomplish, or something you regret, you know, that happened on your watch while you were chief?
Well, you know, in any organization, you have a lot of dynamics, and you have to deal with the people issues. You know, I regret having to deal with a number of people issues, but I set a very strict code of conduct, and I did not tolerate not doing what you were supposed to do. So I kind of regret that I had to deal with some of the disciplinary issues that I deal with, because that's never fun. Is there something that I wished I could have achieved? You know, we've been working on a camera system across the city which has helped us reduce crime, and one of my goals was to see a real-time crime center. We're not there yet, but it's one of our goals, and hopefully whoever is the next chief will take that from where we have it to the next step.
A real-time crime center, what do you?
Real-time crime center is we would be looking at the various cameras we have across the city, evaluating what's going on. When calls for service come come in. We have analysts in a room like that. We have also police officers that are viewing the area that the officer's coming into, so they're getting instant information on what's occurring, what vehicles are coming and going, etc., which helps us in catching the bad guy. And you know, when you talk about reducing crime, we have reduced crime because we have taken the career criminals off the street, and that was one of our goals. And the relationship we have had with the Commonwealth Attorney's Office and the United States Attorney's Office and all the federal agencies has been truly a plus. I've always said that the chemistry here has been real good between the feds and the locals and the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, and that's not the case in every city. Multi-jurisdictional grand jury, we did not have that, and that was one of my goals when I came here, and I worked with the Attorney General's office, and we have one now, and it is working very well. So they're not really things I've done, you know. I've kind of been a part of the team that's made it happen.
Now, getting back to the one regret that you said you did have, which was the personnel issues and having to deal with that, because that's never fun. You're coming off of a year now where in the past year there have been 4 officers who've been charged, retired from the force possibly because of some of these charges, and there have been some troubles with at least 4 officers. So some may say, it seems strange that he's retiring now. What do you say to folks who are thinking maybe there's a connection to your retirement, to the timing of what's going on with these officers? Is there any connection?
There is no connection. No connection. That was dealing with business that's past. I'm leaving an agency that's in very good shape with great people. They're saying that, you know, we're deep in leadership. We're deep in good people. Any organization has people that do things wrong. That had no consideration in me retiring. The timing is right for James Fox to retire. At the top of my game, in good health.
Very good. And you know, we have to ask that because when you did the interview with us earlier, about a month or 2 ago, you had said you're 1 incident away from being fired. So there's a reason folks would ask.
I say that because that could be any incident. Any incident. You look at chiefs nationwide, that exists. So I didn't say that pertaining to that. That was just a general statement. And any chief realizes that. People don't realize the responsibility that a police chief has and the constant worries of the what ifs that could occur to our people, to the community. A good chief that cares thinks about all of that, and that's constant, and that can wear on you. So I'm looking forward to retiring and relaxing and having fun, and I'm going out on the top of my game.
Would you say that is would you say that's something that that folks don't realize when it comes to being a police chief, or is there one thing that you wish people would understand when it comes to being a police chief that you don't think they realize goes into your daily?
I think people realize it. You know, my job is different than some other jobs. I mean, you just don't go home every night, but there are other jobs that are just like my job. But it's a lot of responsibility, and if you care, you really can't relax.
What advice would you give to the next police chief coming in?
Go out into the community, get to know the people, be a part of the various groups, get on boards, various boards. I was on the Free Clinic board, the Boys and Girls Club board. I've been active in the community, be seen, be up front, develop trust.
One thing that I noticed about you from when I first started was you never hid, no matter what the incident was, whether it was something within the police department with police officers, or if there were troubles anywhere within the department, or if there was something going on out on the street, if we called and said, can we talk to the chief about it, you did. Do you feel like that is important for the next chief to do as well, this transparency you've spoken about?
Well, in today's world, if you're not transparent and if you don't tell the truth, you will fail. Telling the truth. The facts are the facts. I might not like what the facts are, but I work for the public. I got to give them the facts. And then I have to deal with what the results are. And I feel like I've done that as chief. I've been up front to the media. When the media has wanted to talk to the chief, I've been here. That's not the case everywhere you go. And I think that's very important. And the next chief, you know, I've kind of set the tone. The next chief's going to have to do the same thing.
Let's hope so. What do you hope your legacy is that you leave behind within the police department and then within the community?
I feel like I leave the department ready to move into the future. I hope that I've been a developer of people. I feel like, you know, there have been 6 or 7 people leave here and be chiefs in other places. I feel good about that. And there are other people in this organization right now that could go other places and be the chief of police. I feel good about that. So developing the leadership within the organization, creating a good culture, I feel good leaving that.
Okay. Where are you going to stay in Newport News, or are you going to go? Do you have a summer home that will now become your main home?
Well, I have a house in Florida,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a house on the water in Matthews. So between the two, I will enjoy life somewhere on the water.
Very good. Somewhere on the water. And there was one other thing I know I wanted to ask you. Let me see here. Is there anything that I didn't ask you about that you want to say, that you think is important?
No, I thank you. Good questions.
How long have you been debating retirement, trying to decide? When did it really come into your mind that, you know what, 2013 is going to be the year I retire?
I never had a true date. I wanted to go out again when my health was good, when the organization was good, that I felt like I was at the top of my game. I didn't want to be dragged out, and I didn't want to go out after a crisis. About 5 or 6 years in, I was probably 6 years in, because timing is everything. You can go out at the wrong time, and your legacy is one thing. You can go out at the right time, and your legacy is that.
Yeah.
So the timing is right, and my wife is ready to have a husband again.
I think I'm good, Larry.